Hey, what's going on, Outlaw Radio Live fans? We are live on the air with none other than the Sacramento, California legend. His name is none other than XRaided. XRaided, I know you're a busy guy, so I'm going to get directly into this interview, and I have to ask you, what made you decide to get into the music industry?
I used to do a lot of freestyles, like at neighborhood parties and stuff like that. And that was back when a rapper had to be a rapper. And so we started making tapes just for the homies, when they was rolling around. And people started telling me, man, like, you really could do something. You gotta, like, hit the studio, like, do this for real. And that was really kind of how it happened. So once I got in the studio, me, Six, Brother Lynch on, we worked on some songs. We actually got the tapes pressed and printed up ourselves. Started putting them in stores on consignment deals and taking them to swap meets and all over the West Coast. And then Black Market Records started looking for me because of that. And the rest is history. And that's really how it happened. Just being a kid with a mean freestyle and a quick ink pen and hooking up with the right people, being in the right places at the right time. And that's really how it happened.
And your first album, Psychoactive, was recorded in June 1990. How did that album come to be?
Well, I think I started writing Psychoactive in 1990, but I didn't record anything for that record until December of 1990. So like I was writing it first, and then Six ended up. Like me, Six, and Lynch ended up at a DJ's house just busting freestyles and listening to records and stuff like that, and we all hit the studio. And so, like, Psychoactive is technically parts of, like, a mixtape that we dropped, just this little EP I put out called Niggas is Black. Like, 4 songs came from there, and then the rest of it was original songs that me, Six, and Lynch did together. And, that was the magic that created Psychoactive. We just went in there working the love of making beats and rhymes and doing it for ourselves first and foremost. But I did have a dream of one day being as dope as my favorite rappers and being out there like that. That was a goal of mine. But I have one foot in the streets and one foot in the industry. And I think as history has demonstrated, that's an inappropriate way to approach business. But that's how Psychoactive came to be. But prior to that, we did the project, me, Six, and Lynch, and Dangerous Species. We did the EP, the mixtape. So we had projects out before Psychoactive, for sure.
And also, from 1993 to 1995, you recorded songs over the phone while in jail. Did you think those recordings would be as big as they are today when you recorded them?
Wow, I love that question. I've always had a high degree of confidence. I always believed in myself. But I think the fact that they lived this long, I don't know that particular aspect was relevant to me back then. Everything was for the moment. I lived in the moment. It's like if it wasn't right in front of my nose for a while, it didn't exist. I didn't have a lot of ability to plan out in the future. I had to develop that skill. But what I did know, Mac Dre did, live from Fresno County Jail. I had done a little bit of 4 bars on 24 Deep for Brother Lynch's album in '93. And so by the time I talked to Mac Dre about doing that album on the phone, and he gave me the game, by the time that happened, I was pretty confident that I could do something. I knew, like, I was going to be heard for sure. I knew that. And then once it actually got done and it came out and they started writing about it in Source and Double XL, it actually wasn't even Double XL yet. It was Playboy Magazine. The Source, Playboy Magazine, the Village Voice vibe, it had legs. So I knew once that happened, I was like, all right, this is going down. It's going down.
Also, your new imprint is Blockstar Entertainment. How did that come to be, and what merchandise do you sell on your website?
All right, well, Blockstar star, first of all, I took those two definitions and made our mission statement out of it. You know, a block is a group of people united to achieve a common goal, and a star is one who is preeminent in their chosen field. So for me, Block Star is a group of people united to achieve a common goal of preeminence in our chosen field. Whether that's busting rhymes, production, art, whatever we do, we want to be preeminent at it. We sell on the website. We sell T-shirts, hats. Right now, we're getting into the hoodies and sweaters and beanies. We're about to upload all of that for the people that have some choices. It's trying to get that winter gear up. So that's what we on right now. But normally, CDs, posters. Right now, I think it's a lot of CDs up there for people that are still in the hard copies. I'm big on that. I like my music to be, I tell people you can't get that wave file, that sound, that thick sound that you could get off that CD or off a record, off of vinyl. You can't get that off the download, but to each his own. I'm going to give it to them any way they want it, but I prefer to have physical product. So I got that on my website for them. And we just gonna keep doing that, keep putting up new designs, new clothes, new music, and let the people go to weareblockstar.com to be able to pick it up.
And I have to elaborate on that for a second. When you said hard copies, I'm the same way. I love just being able to look at the booklet while you're listening to the CD, read what the artist has to say about the thanks and whatnot, man. That's the best. It's a nostalgia kind of feel now, man. You don't get it like you used to anymore.
I agree. It used to be one of my favorite parts of the game to read the booklet, and it separated people because you could see the people that cared. I remember when Eminem used to put all his lyrics.
Hello? 1 second, guys. We lost XRaided, so I'll be gonna play some more music, and I'll get him right back on the line. All right, guys, we're back with none other than XRaided. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm well, man. All is well. It's that time of year, man. It's not, when I came home, it was around this time of year. So this time, I feel free and alive and grateful right now.
It's the best way, man. Being free is the best way. So back to our questions. As we all know, unfortunately, you served 26 years in prison. Coming out of prison, did you know how big of a superstar you were? What's the feeling knowing people have been holding you down all these years?
I think that I knew to some extent what I meant to people. I knew what kind of support I'd have for years. People sent me, I used to get bags of mail from all over the country, from all over the world, really. And so I was aware of that. I knew what my sound scan numbers had looked like all those years, which was mind-blowing. So I wasn't surprised by the fact that the people showed me so much love, because I get it. I've been that fan. There's certain artists that I love like that have done something for my spirit, or just been a part of my life the whole time, who I will rock out for. If there was an instance where it was time to, step up and be like, that's my guy, I rock with this person. And so I understand what was behind it for them. You know what I mean? A lot of my music landed a lost my spot of joy from Unforgiven, each part of life. I've witnessed certain kind of music through the course of my career that people connected with, that spoke toward, resiliency and perseverance and loss and love and, obstacles, and people could relate to that. And so I think that, that's why it stuck with me that way. In the same way that people talked about for similar reasons, that particular kind of connection to fans and supporters is just a lot different than them just knowing you from something that they party and drink with versus something that they go to when they feel a certain kind of way. It's just different. And so I wouldn't say I was surprised, because I was conscious that I had that particular kind of fan base. But it was what really did it for me, that made me the happiest and gave me the most pleasure, was meeting them, going to actually shaking hands with people, taking pictures with people, and listening to their stories after all the years of them listening to mine. And some of them would bring letters like, man, you wrote me back. or pictures that they took with me in the visiting room when they came to visit their family members, and I would be there and I would take a picture with them. They like, man, I have this picture for 10 years, 15 years. Like, it was a trip. It was a trip. So that part right there, I've been grateful for, being able to tour the West Coast and get to meet the fans and just find out, you know, how they came to know about me and what our connection is to each other. It's a very personal relationship that I got with my supporters.
Also, in 2018, you released The Execution of XRaided under your real name. What's the inspiration behind that record, and what made you decide to use your real name?
You know what? When I first came home, I was conscious that it was going to be necessary to communicate some stuff that I didn't think it was even related to music. It was just related to my mode of communication. And so the Execution of X-Raided album was such a significant statement about my psychology, the journey I went through, my spirit, everything. So because it was so real, I did it under my real name, you know? And I think people from my career, throughout my career, are used to that with me making that kind of music with Santa P. Mama's Prodigy, Orlando, the Laws, to All I Need. I've consistently been that guy. But X-Raided has also been somebody known for having darker bars, for being more of a battle rapper, disguised as a gangster rapper. So I felt like some of the realest bars I ever run in my life needed to be represented by my realest reality, you know, which is this Honorary Bashan. My mama named me Honorary Bashan. That's my name. But I made sure that by having the Execution of X-Raided in the title, so it still searches as the X-Raided album, and technically in the system as the X-Raided album, but it's by Honorary Bashan. So that's why I did it that way. And it might not be the last one I do that way either. If I feel like I compiled 10, 12 songs that tell a story in a way that I don't feel is suitable for, you know, for an X-Raided album, and that's what I'll do. You never know.
And also, your most recent release is called California Dreamin. It got released this past year. What's the inspiration behind that record, and where can our listeners buy ourselves a copy?
All right, so the California Dreamin album was a representation of, like, while I was in California State Prison, I always wanted to go home, you know, but, like, what is home? For me, when I envision home, I envision just freedom, that sense of freedom that I envision the feeling of standing on the Bay Bridge, driving across the Bay Bridge, seeing the Golden Gate Bridge, Santa Monica Pier, being in San Diego, like California is home. And so, while at the same time that I had that dream, I was immersed in a nightmare, in that I didn't know if I was ever getting out of prison. I didn't know if I was ever going to make it home. And so, that's why the album starts with California Nightmare as an intro. You know, I just never knew what was going to be what, but it was a dream, it was a goal, and I maintained it, and I accomplished it when I got home. So the inspiration behind the album was to celebrate the journey from hopelessness to having faith, to having hope, and then being rewarded for that, being free, blessed, and still dealing with, you know, what comes with that, terms of parole and things like that. So it had a lot going on to it. The project can be found on all digital platforms. X-Raided, California Dreamin is on iTunes, Apple Music, it's everywhere. It's even on Amazon. There's no missing it. Amazon Music, anywhere you go. So just look up X-RAIDED, California Dreamin, and it'll pop up straight up.
So, also not too long ago, you performed in Denver, Colorado. What was that experience like, and do you have any other concerts in the year of 2019?
Yeah, I just, I feel like that was just last weekend. I was out in Denver. It was beautiful to get out there, you know, and be, you know, greeted by the people. You know, that's, I would say, incredibly far away from home. We're ready to start pushing these boundaries and getting out there. And Denver was kind of a test run for us, like, okay, let's go out here and check the reception as we prepare to go to all of these other cities throughout the country. And it was beautiful, man. The people came out, they filled it up, They knew the words to the songs, man. They told me how they became aware of my music. I took pictures with them, took my time, spent time with them. I went out to Colorado Springs and hung out with a bunch of people, chilled with them, took pictures with them, and it was rewarding. So from Denver all the way to Colorado Springs, they knew the words, and they hung out, and they kicked it, man, and it was a beautiful experience. My next show, I'm looking at Speedtack with Lil Boozy, with Boozy Badass on December 14th. We performing at Welcome Palace. I think that's a Saturday, December 14th. That's going to be a good look. I got high expectations. It's always good when I'm in Seattle. The Northwest been very good to me. It's like my home away from home. So I'm looking forward to it. I expect it to be a fantastic experience for everybody. That's in SeaTac specifically. And then after that, we're going on the road. Me and Brother Lynch are preparing on tour right now. The routing is getting done, and we're about to hit the country for the Reason of the Sickness tour. So after this show with Boozy, I'll probably get a little bit of a break, and then it's non-stop touring after that.
So when you just brought up you and Brother Lin Chung doing the tour, what can we expect from that?
Classic. We're gonna do a classic heavy set, amalgamated, so that it's not just you coming to see XRaided and then Brother Lin Chung, but he might do a couple songs, I'll do a couple songs, he do a song, I'll do a song. We kind of mix that up a little bit so that the fans get that experience of basically, almost 2 hours of being fans, basically trading songs and supporting each other through it. So, that way it's a little less like they went to an X-Raided show and Brother Lin Chung show. It's really X-Raided and Brother Lin Chung doing a show together. Literally, I got songs that he's been on through the years. He's got songs I've been on. He's done some of my songs. So, we got the ability to be able to rock a stage together and support each other and let the fans see that for really the first time. So, we're looking forward to it. And it's got legs, so we try to take it as far as, from California to New Jersey and back again, you know what I mean?
That's what's up. And I have to ask, what's next for XRaided?
I'm working on a project, very ambitious project called Psychoanalysis, where I am re-recording, reproducing, remixing, and remastering all of my classic songs that have, stood the test of time and that the fans love. Any of them that move the story forward, and then we go through video blogs for all of them, describing the lyrics, explaining what the bars mean, and just, package that, put that out for the people. We dropping a lyric book with it. We just gonna take it all the way back to the beginning of my career and break down the relevance of my existence, and why these people have maintained my presence in the game throughout the years, even when I couldn't do it for myself. So that's gonna be X-Raided Psychoanalysis. It's gonna be epic.
And this is the last question I have for tonight. Normally what I do with my interviews at the very end, I have the individual that comes on a chance to give the shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to, and also their social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you if they're not already doing that.
I appreciate that. I'm easy to find on social media. It's all official XRaided. That's official spelled traditionally XRaided. That's on Twitter, Instagram. It's official XRaided one. YouTube, they all the same. You can find me anywhere. Just look it up, official XRaided. The website is weareblogspot.com. BLOCSTAR. That's one thing, okay. Everything relevant to me gonna be found on the social media. Big shout outs to all my people that have been rocking with me all these years. They know who they are, you know what I mean? Gavin Calhoun, my boy McIntosh, Rigo, Man Joe, Hustle Man Benjamin, everybody know who they are. But the truth is we headed toward the future. We about to take the team with us. We coming to a town near you. Wherever I'm legally permitted to pull up, we coming. and it's gonna be fun, man. And Reason of the Sequence tour, it's ready, brother. Straight up.
That's what's up. I want to say, XRaided, thank you so much for coming up on Outlaw Radio Live and providing me with your time. It was an absolute honor and a privilege, and I hope you come back on the show some other time. Thank you so much.
Definitely, man. I appreciate you for having me. Thank you to the listeners for giving me their time. I appreciate all y'all. One love.
One love, man. Have yourself a wonderful night. God bless.